Hello everyone, Alex with BIMitUp. Today I'm going to show you how to create a single restroom in Revit. It's going to be really easy. So what are we looking at? We're first going to bring in our architectural link like we typically do, set up our levels like we typically do. Then we're going to bring in some BIMitUp plumbing fixtures. You're going to see how smart and powerful they are. We're going to be working with 3D views, sections. We're going to really take advantage of the Revit power. We're going to start by piping some sanitary drainage out of our toilet. And then we're going to pipe our floor drain and we're going to connect it to our sanitary main. We're going to pipe our lavatory. We're going to create our plumbing vent stack, very important. We're going to pipe some domestic water to our water closet and to our lavatory. And then I'm going to show you how easy it is to create a plumbing fixture schedule just with one click for both your plumbing fixture schedule and your drain fixture schedule. So I'll see you in Revit. Okay, so let's go ahead and start a new project. File, new project. We need to select our template. And for this particular example, I'm going to use the BIMitUp plumbing template. And if you're interested in the plumbing template, let me know and I'll point you in the right direction. Now we need to link in our architectural model. So we go Insert, Revit Link, and we navigate wherever we have the architectural model. Positioning auto origin to origin is fine. Let's take these elevations out of the way. Let's make sure we pin our link model in place so we don't move it accidentally. It's always good practice to activate room bounding. We're not going to use it in this video, but it's always a good idea. Now let's make sure our levels are created and our elevations are correct. So we see that the architectural model has level 1 and level 2, 3, etc. We're only going to use 2 levels for this particular example, and those are the levels that are by default in the template. What you do, you click here and then you grab it with your left click, and then I'm doing the scrolling wheel to take those levels out, and then I can see that level 2 is not aligned, so I'm going to hit AL to align it. I click on the architect's level, I click on my level, and now we're aligned and ready to go. So I'm going to close this elevation and I'm going to go to level 2, because in level 2 it's where I have the small restroom. It's right here. And for this example, we're going to use 3 BIMitUp plumbing fixtures. So one of them is going to be the floor-mounted bottom discharge toilet. And that one I'm going to place like around here. And then I click here and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. I'm going to align it with the architectural. I'm just going to grab it from here and shift it over a little bit. Notice that our fixture is being cut by the architectural model. So I'm going to go into Visibility Graphics Overrides, hitting VV or VG, and then you go into Revit Links. I want to make sure that this is set to Underlay, and then that way I can see my plumbing fixtures perfectly. I also like to design having the visual styles as wireframe. And then my detail level, I want to have it in fine so I can see my double lines. Alright, so that's our water closet. Now let's go ahead and drop a drain, a floor drain. And this is also a BIMitUp plumbing fixture. I'm going to place on work plane. And that little squiggly line that is dashed represents the trap primer, so you don't have to waste time drafting the domestic water priming. It's just noted in the schedule, and then they'll put the trap primer wherever they can. Finally, we're going to drop the lavatory. This is the wall-mounted lavatory. I'm going to place it here, and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. And the nice thing about these fixtures is that these are not wall-hosted. So when the architect changes things, your stuff doesn't break. So I'm aligning, hitting AL command, and then we're ready to start piping. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a pipe. I'm going to hit PI, and I want to make sure that I'm in the correct pipe type. So in this case, I'm gonna start with waste. I'm gonna click on waste generic, and I'm gonna reference to level 2. And I'm just gonna do one pipe to set it by default. And I want to make sure that my system type is AJS plumbing. So I wanna set up my system type to be sanitary drainage. I'm gonna start with drainage, sanitary drain, and then you can click on that outlet, and then to make sure you inherit elevation, you would hit the tab button, and then you inherit the elevation and size. So I'm gonna go -1 foot, and then I'm gonna turn 45 degrees. Now it's always a good idea to create a 3D view. So that's the default 3D view. I'm gonna turn off with visibility graphics overrides. I'm doing VV or VG. Going into Revit links, and I'm simply gonna turn off the architectural link so that I have full access to my plumbing. I want to turn the detail level to fine, and I like to have this as shaded. It performs well because it's not too heavy and it looks kind of nice. So I can see that I came out of my toilet. This is a 3-inch line, but this line should be a 4-inch because it's a flush valve toilet. So I'm gonna hit SL to split. I think I'm gonna look for a little more space, so instead of -1 foot, I'm gonna do -2 feet. And then now I'm gonna click here. I'm gonna do tab select, and I'm gonna change this part of the run from 3 inches to 4 inches. I want to change this short sweep elbow into a long sweep elbow, which is this one right here. And then this pipe here should be sloped, and it's not sloped right now. So I have two options here. Either I come here and I just hit slope, and I set my slope, which in this case is 1/8 of an inch per foot, because this is a 4-inch pipe. Then I click finish, and then if I click here, now I can see that the pipe is sloping. I could also go to my plan view and create a quick section. Double click on my section head. I'm gonna set this to fine. I'm gonna set this to wireframe. I'm gonna extend a little bit the section, and then you can see that my pipe is sloping correctly. Okay, so let's keep going. You know, sometimes it's very useful to do WT so that you're doing window tiling. But before that, I'm gonna do TW to on tile. And I'm gonna take this view here, and I'm gonna change the view range. And that view range, I wanna take it down, let's say to -4 feet. -4 feet for bottom and view depth. I'm gonna talk about view range in another video with a lot more detail. For now, let's just keep going. So right click, draw pipe. We're still sloping down, right? So I'm gonna keep going like this way, right? And now we want to connect our floor drain. So one way of doing that would be you take your plumbing section here, you do 90-degree rotation, you can come here and then come out of your floor drain and simply just click here. And then before we keep going, we can see that our lavatory here is not at the correct elevation. So let's just hit align, and there we go, and let's keep going. Now let's go to our floor plan, and I want to draw a horizontal piece going up to connect to this riser. And the easiest way to do that is you simply click on the pipe, you do CS for creating similar, you make sure that your pipe is at 3-inch, you make sure you inherit elevation, and that you're sloping at 1/8 of an inch per foot. So you click here, see how you get your tracking line here? So that's where you want to be. You click on it, and then now you're sloping up. But this fitting here, this is a standard reducing sanitary T, and that's not allowed in the horizontal plane. You want to change that by a combination Y8 bend, and now we're in code compliant. Now we can go either to our 3D or to our section, and then just hit TR for trim from here to here. And then if you have watched my video on tips and tricks and you're using this template, you know that if you click on this elbow, you can easily just swap that for a P-trap, and then you're ready to go. So let's keep going. Now we have to do our lavatory. For our lavatory, what we can do is simply slide our section down a little bit, and then we go to our section, and then we can come out of here, go into the wall, then we go down. We can go ahead and change this elbow already. We swap it for a P-trap, and then we can take this pipe here and extend it up to create our stack. But then if we were to create a stack right here, what would be happening is that this would be venting this line, but then this drain would be connecting before venting, and that's not what we want. What we actually want is the vent to be right after the toilet, right here. So let's go ahead and make a little bit of room for that. We just coordinate with our architect so that the floor drain is a little bit lower, and then instead of having the stack here, what we do is we go to our 3D view, and then we turn our line. Instead of being 1 1/4, what we want to do is, but just so that you can have a longer run, you want to change this fixture arm to 1 1/2. And now you can go to your 3D view, and then right click, draw pipe. Notice that if I hold the shift button, it constrains the routing of the pipe for orthogonal angles here, right? So let's go this way. We just want to run a little bit to here, and then notice that it acquired the slope that I want, which is 1/8 of an inch per foot. Now let's go to our floor plan again. We want to make sure we align this pipe to this pipe, and then what we can do is we take our section, we rotate it 90 degrees, just put it right here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do create similar. We connect to this pipe. We want to do 2 inches up, let's say up to here. Okay, and then now from my 3D view, I can take this pipe, turn it 90 degrees. I can upgrade this elbow to a T, and now I can delete this elbow and go back to my section, then keep going here, right click, draw pipe, and just take it up past my fixture arm, so that then I can do trim extent TE, or if you don't have it assigned to your shortcut, you can come here to modify, and then you click on this trim extent, and then you click on the riser, you click on the fixture arm, and it automatically places the sanitary T. Then finally you delete this piece. You can copy this up, and then you change this piece of pipe to be in the correct pipe type, which would be vent, and in the correct system, which would be sanitary vent. And then you can connect down, and you can take it up to the ceiling space and, you know, navigate from there. So let's take it up to, let's say, 10 feet. So I'll go 10 feet. And then I'm going to stop sloping, even though, you know, vent lines should be a little bit sloped, but for this purposes, I'm just going to take it back like that. So we're good with our sanitary drainage. Now we're good to do our domestic water. So that's a lot easier. You just come here to the floor plan. If you want to use your section, you can. I don't think I'm going to need it. So if I click on the toilet, I see that, you know, there are 2 connectors here. One of them has a little P-trap, letting you know that that's the one for the sanitary drainage. That's the one that we connected to initially. And there's another connector here for 1 inch for domestic water. This is the symbol for domestic water. And you can see that it has already assigned by default 10 water fixture units, because this is a BIMitUp toilet. So I click here, and I need to make sure that I'm on the correct pipe type. So the correct pipe type would be a supply pipe type, soldered copper, or, you know, I can use a generic, which is the same thing. And then I click here. I don't want a slope, so make sure your slope is off. You have water, So now you got to be careful. Just because you're clicking in the right connector doesn't mean that you're going to be in the correct system. It's just in a system that was created based off of that system classification. So for example, in this case, it fell under cooling tower makeup water. That's not what we want, right? So you have to be very alert. So I'm gonna click here and I'm gonna change this to what I want, which is domestic cold water. Now I'm going a little bit past the wall and I'm going to align that later, but it's gonna be easier for me to do it from the outside. So we have two options here. Either we could navigate within the wall and then feed the water closet, feed the lavatory, and then go up to the ceiling space and keep going. But in this case, this wall is pretty narrow and we have our vent stack here, so it can be a little bit congested. So I think I'm just gonna go up to the ceiling space. So let's take this to 9 feet and then come this way. And then for the lavatory, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna click on it. I'm gonna click on the connector. Notice that it's a 1/2 inch cold water outlet and it has assigned by default already the 1.5 fixture unit because those are preloaded with the BIMitUp fixture. So I click here, I come out, I make sure that I'm in the correct system, domestic cold water, but not only in the correct system, you also need to be in the correct pipe type. So just make sure you are in the supply pipe type. So I can take this pipe and just stretch it and connect it to that one. It automatically plays the drop. So it's a good idea always to, I can do window tile and then you can keep your 3D view to keep monitoring what you're doing. So, you would add your shock absorbers, your isolation valve, etc. But I just wanted to show you how easy it is to plumb a bathroom when you're using the BIMitUp template and the BIMitUp fixtures. But one of the coolest things about this is that if you want to create a plumbing fixture schedule and a drain schedule, it's as simple as you create a new sheet, and then if you're using the BIMitUp template, you just go here to schedule, and then you drop in, let's say your drain schedule down here, and let's say your plumbing fixture schedule right here. And right now you have nothing, right? But if you were to come here to your modeling space, it's as simple as dropping in your fixture. So I'm gonna do window tile, and I'm gonna zoom in so you see the magic happening in real time. So I'm gonna drop off my floor mounted toilet right here, and now I have it here. Floor mounted toilet, right? Now if I wanna drop, let's say, a lavatory, I just drop it here, and here's my lavatory right here. And then finally, if I want to drop my drain, I need to make sure I place it on work plane, and now my drain is right here. So that's how easy it is to design with the BIMitUp template and the BIMitUp plumbing fixtures. And if you have enjoyed this video, make sure you like it down there. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell so you get notified. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video.